Online classes are critically important to student success. Many of us knew this even before the COVID-19 pandemic made them a necessity for many of our students. But what we may not know is how many students are more likely to fail or drop out of online classes compared to face-to-face classes. Just look at these data from UA Little Rock. You can see that students who take a higher percentage of their course load online are significantly less likely to return and continue to be enrolled. It's 20% lower than students who just take a couple classes online. What's particularly disturbing is that the research shows that students who are first-generation students, students of color, or low-income students are even more likely to drop out or fail our online classes. And I've seen this in my own classes as well. When I first started teaching online, I was shocked to see that many more of my students were failing or dropping out of my online classes compared to my face-to-face classes. So what can we do about it? The teaching innovation that I propose is building rapport with our students. And what building rapport means is connecting in our online classes. It's about letting students know that we care about their success, having good communication, giving meaningful feedback, and just connecting with them on a human level. And I've really seen this make a difference, and I've got the data to show exactly how meaningful it is. I want to show you the results of this 5-year teaching experiment that I conducted in my classes. And what I saw is that when I taught my online classes with Rapport compared to when I taught them without Rapport, I saw a significantly higher retention rate. In fact, it increased so much that I completely eliminated the disparity between my online and my face-to-face classes, improving retention rates by 13.5%. And what's really encouraging about Rapport is just how scalable it is and how easy it is to take in all kinds of different classes. So experimental research that I've done with Heidi Skurrat-Harris in the Rhetoric and Writing department shows that when students are in Rapport classes for as little as 15 minutes, we see a statistically significant difference in how much they enjoy the class, how much they like the instructor, and how likely they are to stay enrolled. So we're really seeing a difference that rapport building makes. Now, I recently published a book with Johns Hopkins University Press called Connecting in the Online Classroom, Building Rapport Between Teachers and Students. And it is full of ideas and advice and tactics that faculty can use to build rapport with students in their own classrooms. And this really speaks to the applicability and the scalability of this method and this teaching innovation. Now, because building rapport is personal, it's about your own relationships that you're building with students, and because it can continue to develop over time as you learn more about your students, I want to show some data from my intro class. Now, this is a class that meets a core requirement, and it historically has a high DFW rate. So you can see that it wasn't doing so great when I first started teaching it. But over time, as I got better at building rapport and better at connecting with my students, the retention rate in the class increased. Now, you might notice a significant drop there in the spring of 2020 when a pandemic hit, and it was a really rough semester for everyone. But because I upped my game in building rapport with my students, I reached out to them proactively, and I really let them know that their success mattered to me. You can see a rebound in the fall of 2020 when that retention rate went back up over 80%. And this really speaks to the power of rapport to help our students succeed even during a pandemic. It's vitally important that we close the retention gap between online and face-to-face students because so many students use online classes to access higher education. And we need to close the equity gaps there because students of color, low-income students, first-generation students, they're coming to college through online classes. And we need to make sure that they're not being treated as second-class students, but that they're able to access a high-quality education when they come to us. If UA Little Rock were to prioritize rapport building training for faculty, we could improve our retention rates, we could help our students succeed, and we could improve the teaching and learning experience for everyone on our campus.